Hello and welcome back to another video. So I'm just up here with the cattle this evening. I have moved them into a bit more of what we were hoping would be silage, but we just can't get the weather to cut it. So today is the 3rd, I think, of August. We were hoping to cut last week, this week at the very latest, but it's just not happening. The forecast is rain, rain, rain. The grass is sopping wet right now. So about 2 days ago I just bit the bullet and I gave them a decent chunk here, you can see. Before that I was kind of just giving them a couple of feet a day, and then they go back and graze where they've been all the time. So they just come into this field and then go back through the ditch and pick away over there as well. But it's kind of gotten to a point now where it's just not growing ahead of them quick enough, so I gave them a bigger chunk here and I closed them off from the place next door. So look, the plan was always kind of that we were going to do this anyway. We didn't think we would have enough grass to leave all of this to silage, so it's, you know, it's okay, it's not too bad, you know, but they will have to come down another few meters by the time we do get around to cutting silage. And next week's forecast for where I am is not great. It keeps changing. When I look at it, it might have 2.5 days, and I was thinking, great, we'll get a cut next Thursday. That's fine, we'll get over that. Looked at it that evening and it's the bare 2 days. I'm like, that's just cutting it very fine. And if there is any rain to be had, we will get the rain here. It's always the case. But anyway, today I'm going to spread the fertiliser in the place next door where they came out of. As I said, it's just not, you know, growing as quick as we need it to now. So we'll give that a shot of the protected urea. Probably do between half a bag and a bag to the acre. We won't do the full bag to the acre, but we'll do more than half, I would say. And hopefully that will give it what it needs to come along. So not sure if you can see it very well. It's not bare, it's definitely light up here because that's the part that they liked, the nice fresh part. And then down here there's a little bit more to it, but hopefully it'll just need that bit of nitrogen to get it going. So we're thinking maybe 30 units ish to the acre should be enough for that. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to do where I took the cattle out of, I think in my last video. Just give that a bit of a shake just to get things moving. And then I'm going to do what we call behind the lake as well. So that was probably my most recent topping video. What was that, maybe 3 weeks ago, I don't know. So going to shake a bit there as well, and that's all I'll do for this evening. I probably won't get all that done this evening. I'll probably just do the place in here. So this video, hopefully it works out, because I have a feeling it'll be a bit bitty because I'll be just trying to do it after work for the next few days, and then I have a day off, so maybe I'll get a bit more done. But the cattle are here and I'd actually like to show you one of them because she's far younger than all the rest, and I've always said she's very leggy. Now she's still very tall, but I just feel she's filling out a nice bit lately, so I might as well give you that little update on her. So I'll show you her here now. So this is her out of the big black cow. In fairness, that cow doesn't have bad calves, so we should have known she'd always come right anyway. But just because she had joint ill right after she was born, we were a bit worried that she wouldn't come on as well as she possibly could. But in fairness, filling out nicely there now. Very quiet animal as well, which is always nice. You can just see her knee there, still a little bit swollen because the joint ill never really goes away, but definitely really happy with how she's turning out. And then this is my big mean Simmental.
she's an intimidating lady, but an absolute beast at the same time. But yeah, I just wouldn't mess with her. She's flighty to say the least, but my dad assures me that they're always flighty when they're heifers, and she'll calm down once she has a calf, so hopefully. And then my Sheehan, who is absolutely not flighty. Cutie.
Honestly, this guy, he's just going to break my heart someday. He's so good. He's so good, aren't you? Very happy with these up here. So I'm going to go down now. I have the spreader on since yesterday. So I'm going to go down, load up and get spreading. Dad's going to come up as well because he hasn't been up here for a good while. So he just kind of wants to see what the place is looking like and all that. Big problem we have up here at the moment is we have pretty much no shock in the electric fence. I was going to grab it, but I won't, because I've one bar on the fence checker, but the hedges are just really overgrown, and especially with the grass being so wet now as well, it's pushing it all over onto the fence. So there's pretty much no power. They could easily go through that fence if they wanted to, because I only realised there was no power because Sheehan kept walking. He'd walk under it 3 or 4 times when I'd be standing here, and I was saying that's not right. And then I was looking at the cows, and you know, when you move them they always go as far as they can. Their necks were all hitting the wire, and I was like, how are they not getting a shock? So, you know, they obviously had enough to keep them going, which is great. Not sure if you can see the grass here behind me, starting to go a little bit stemmy now, but just now. So if we could get it cut next week, we would actually be fine. But yeah, who knows. But anyway, one thing this weather is good for is spreading fertiliser and working it into the ground. So I'm going to do that now. I hope you'll be able to hear me now, because the wind is ferocious up here, as you can see from my hair. But God, it's spread anyway. So I took some advice from someone, or maybe more than one person, who told me to go both ways. So I went across the field and then I went up and down, just try and get an even spread. So I swear if I see yellow patches in this now, I'm going to go mad, because surely there's a nice even cover in it. So I just avoided the rushes, and that was it. Oh, I have to go. My dad is stuck in here because the gate won't open. I'll finish this in a while. Now I'm done for the evening. I actually ran out here. I think, look, we are kind of fiddling with the settings to see what's about right, because with the urea, or the protected urea, it's very fine, so it seems to go out quicker. So I think what we had above was pretty much perfect, and then we said, oh, we'll up it a small bit in here, and sure, I only got maybe 3/4 of that done, so there's a fine shake of it out there anyway, but I'll just finish it off tomorrow. I'll put in another couple of bags, just do a couple of runs there and head behind the lake and do that. So I've given the cattle here some more grass and that's it. I'll be happy now to go in tonight out of this miserable weather, so we'll check in again tomorrow. That's that job done now for another while. Flew through it there now tonight. Really surprised with the amount of grass we have actually behind the lake. There is a serious amount of grass there, considering I'd say I topped it, was that 3 weeks ago? I'd say maybe coming up to 4 weeks ago, but definitely no longer than that. I topped it all and there is a good coat of grass there already. It got nothing until the shake it got there now today. And the place is just so green. I really think the topping has helped back there. Now I know the conditions really have been ideal because it's been wet and mild and not overly wet either. So look, everywhere is greening up a lot quicker this year than they would have in previous years. But that place has never looked so good. I'll give you a look tomorrow, or in this video, but it'll be tomorrow. It's just so wild and windy out there today. There was no point in me trying to record anything. But then as well, I went down and shook a small bit where I had put out the dung earlier in the year. And there's actually flowing grass there. Like, it's flowing in the wind. I can't believe it. Like, that ground was brown. It was moss. And now there is rushes. There's a good few rushes there as well. But you can definitely see the grass coming through. So I gave that an old shake down there as well. Just above from where the holes were dug. But yeah, down there, grass is great. You know, and it's mad then to think that I'm feeding the ones up here the silage grass, but it's just the way it goes. But come the time now when the cows go into where I'm talking about, they'll all go in there. So the ones above will have come down and the full herd will go in there. Probably towards the end of this month, they'll all be together then, because we'll be giving the silage ground time to come back and recover. So everyone will go down, and sure, then it'll be testing before we know it, and weaning and all of that fun stuff. But that's it for now anyway. I need to go back down. I went on a shopping spree the last couple of days in the co-op. I got a new reel for myself, new pigtails, and a few bits. So I need to go down now to the cows by the shed and just put a wire behind them, because they're just spending too much time going back and forth, and there's no need for them to be grazing back there. They're obviously just nipping the new stuff. So I also need to bring in the calf to check her for horns tomorrow. I'm still kind of hopeful that she doesn't have horns, but we'll see tomorrow. And look, if I've that wire up, it'll just make it easier to get them out anyway. So that's all I'm doing for this evening, because I'm off tomorrow, so I might as well leave the rest. But that's what's coming up next, and I'll try and show you a bit of the ground and stuff. If it's too windy, I'll do a voiceover, but that's what's next. Now I'm back down here this morning, so I'm going to bring this lot in and try and grab the calf it's not going to be fun. She's lively and she was strong after 12 hours. So we're about, what, 10 or 12 days on from that now. So yeah, it'll be a challenge for me now today. I was tight on the grass with them last night. I just gave them the bare taste because it should make it easier to get them out. And as I mentioned, I put up a wire. Are you going to be able to see that there? Maybe not. I can't see it anyway. But so I've just put, this is the gate here, and I've put the wire at the other side here. So hopefully she doesn't go under it, because that's what usually happens. But I've angled the pigtails, so hopefully not. And that means they just have to come to that point and come out, rather than going into this corner here, which again I have learned from past experiences. So I'm going to get them in here now. Hopefully this all goes handy enough, and let's all hope that I don't have to get the dehorner out.
I don't know how I managed it, but anyway, just the black cow and calf came in. So that absolutely never happens. It's always a bigger ordeal than that. And just straight into the pen as if she knew what was going on. I must say, yeah, since I've started opening that other gate instead of just opening the one I'm closing now, life has been so much easier. So next job was obviously to catch the cow's head, and in fairness to her, she was very well behaved. She wanted those nuts, so she was straight out with the head, and I just gently closed it. Her neck is so big and thick, you really do just have to ease it closed on her. So then Dad came down and I pulled out the crate and I just brought it over to make it a bit easier, so that I wasn't moving the calf too far, because I was expecting her to be very strong. I was not expecting her to be as strong as she was. She made an absolute Egypt out of me. So I'm in there now trying to persuade her to come with me, and it was not easy. You can see there I am struggling. She said no, and I just more or less had to go with her. That was it. So I thought then, grand, I'll just put her behind the gate and I'll stand behind her and I'll get Dad to feel for the horns, because I had already felt for them before Dad came down and I couldn't get any, so I just wanted to be 100% sure before I left her back out, and no horns, which was great. And then it was just a case of letting them back out, and their two amigos were there waiting for them.
Now, thankfully, didn't have to get the dehorner out, which is great. I didn't think so, because that cow has never had a calf with horns, so it's great. Jeez, if you can get a good poly like that, that will give you good calves, and you don't even have to be dealing with the horns. It's ideal. It's ideal for what we're doing. So I've left them out again. I've given them a good scalp of grass over there, as you can see them behind me, and I just moved the backing wire as well, so that all this bit here behind me can just be coming away and recovering, because it's already shooting. So there's no point in allowing them to come back and nip those nice tasty bits that they want. So that's that job done. I must go up now and grease the gator and grease the gate at home for Mum and Dad, and then I'm going to change the head on the grease gun and just do the wheels of the tractor, because that head just doesn't fit it. And then after that I'll go down and I'll show you a bit of the grass below, since I'm so impressed with it. I hope you will be now. I feel I've built it up to be something. But yeah, that's next. Now this here is the section I wanted to show you, the one that got the muck in the springtime. Now you can probably see there behind me how green it is, and yes, as I mentioned, there's also rushes, but after topping it they're very weak, and it's definitely given the grass that was coming a great chance. And like, I can still see a few remnants of the muck, but in fairness, most of it is gone now. Not all of it looks like this, of course. There's a bit there behind me that's a lot lighter, but I mean, it's green. It's green, and yesterday when the wind was strong, I could just see it glistening and it was lovely. But yeah, it's amazing the difference it's made. I hope you can see it there now. I might turn the camera around, but this is the section that probably got the heaviest lot of it, because kind of accidentally really, because this is where I started when I first got the muck spreader, and I wasn't quite sure how to get it firing it out, so this got a really heavy coat of it, and then as I went across it got a lighter coat because I kind of figured out how to use it. But I'm thinking now next year when I start over here in the middle a bit, that I might just go with the heavy layer of it. If the weather allows, I'll come out earlier with it. My dad was kind of saying that the frost is really good for it. So I think that's why a lot of people kind of put it out and leave it over the winter and things. But I don't have the muck. I'd have to wait a year to do that. And if that's the difference it made last year, I just want to get it out this year. Even though I know it's better if you leave it break down a bit more. But yeah, like there's even grass coming here as well. Definitely not half as good here, but I'd say it just got too light of a coating. But yeah, really happy with that now. Topping is definitely helping as well. Down further there's good thick grass as well, and I know I said it yesterday, but I know the conditions are ideal this year for grass growing really. But I don't think I've ever seen this field as green as it is now. This part here now behind me didn't get any, and you can see the difference. Yeah, the whole lot was pretty much like that. Might have gotten a tiny little few flicks of it, but that was it. And then over there got absolutely nothing, and you can see it's almost barren over there. So if I have enough next year, so I'm going to start in the middle here and I'll work my way over, because I know some bits were light over there, but if I have some to spare I'll just put it there. But I think I'd be better off to just keep working across and give it all something. And then we're also considering emptying the tank before the cattle go in and putting it down here, and I think that's probably the best way to go about it. Either here or the one where they're in, similar ground type, but at least this got the muck, so maybe we'd be better off putting the slurry down, but we'll see. This got limed last year, so it won't be limed this year. The other place was not limed, so that will get limed as well, as long as the weather holds up now and the ground holds up. But here you can see I've just entered into the rushes, and that's because there's just way too many stones and old pieces of furs and things in here. So I just never come in here with the tractor, and you might be able to hear underfoot as well. It is fairly soft now. Today is the first day we have not had wind, and I actually can't remember. It's, I would say, weeks. Every day there's just a gale blowing, but there's a storm coming tonight, and this is exactly the calm before the storm. I think it's going to start raining in a couple of hours, and then yeah, it's a full-blown storm later. So good that I can get out in it now and got the few jobs done. I'd like to get a few more done later, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'll come over here anyway and I'll show you what I'm talking about, the grass after the topping. So the vast majority of this place got fertiliser yesterday. Again, just about under a bag to the acre. About 3/4 of a bag to the acre, I'd say, in this place. A lot of rushes to be dodged as well over there, but in fairness, the topping just made such a difference here. So right here behind me, if anyone saw that video, I think I included it. It was so dense, the rushes. I just had to go, I think I went low first, because they were that thick and the tractor was just under so much pressure. And there now behind me, I can actually see grass. I mean, the rushes are going to come back, but there's grass coming there now. So the cattle will be in here before those rushes take off properly. And it's all more grass. And I hope you can just see how green it is. Yeah, let me do a... yeah, really, really happy with it. It just looks really well. This was... It can't be topped. It can't be topped 4 weeks. I wouldn't say it's topped 4 weeks. And considering it was pretty much all rushes by the time I got in here, it's really, really good. So hopefully now with the splash of nitrogen yesterday, it should be powerful by the time the cattle get in here, because I was just down to them there, and the field in front of them, they definitely have 2 weeks, if not close to 3 weeks of feeding in there, which again is amazing for that place. So look, we can complain about the constant rain and all that, but if only I could get the silage cut, I honestly wouldn't be overly bothered, you know, in terms of the weather. Of course, we'd like the sunshine for ourselves, but yeah, the place has never been so green. Well, as long as I remember anyway, or as long as I'm involved, which isn't that long, I suppose. But yeah, so that's it. I think I'm going to leave it there for today. Trying to get that grease spot on the gator is tough work. I couldn't find the second one, so I actually had to get the power washer out and clean it a bit better. I just thought maybe I'd be able to see it, so I must go back up there now. It should be dry, and I'll get under it again and see if I can find it. But I'd say now with the weather changing, that'll be all I'll do today. I'm cooking a big roast dinner tonight. It's just that kind of weather that you want. You want some hearty food, so that's what I'm doing this evening. So I'll go away and do that. But I'd be hoping my next video would be silage, but unfortunately I don't think that's going to be the case, just with the way things are going. So I'm not entirely sure what I'll be up to, but of course I will bring you along with me anyway. Just going to show you the grass here. That's amazing. Honestly, for this place, I know most people that's probably like, yeah, it's just grass, but for this place, it's great grass. Great grass. And it'll do them a nice bit of time here. So anyway, I think I'll leave it there. And again, thank you for watching. If you liked it, give me a like, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Thank you.